Um. Oh, Mighty No.9. I did see the trailer for it. That wasn't a bad run. I did see the trailer for it. Admittedly, I didn't think the trailer looked as bad as what people felt it looked. I do think the project has been plagued by really bad decision making. And I do think the project, for how much money was put in, isn't a very pretty game. It definitely feels sort of very PS2 era. But, like, at its core, I'm hoping the gameplay's okay. I haven't had a chance to try it myself. I do have friends that have backed it and have played it. One of them liked it. The other one felt it was horrible. So, it's somewhere in that range. We don't know where, but it's somewhere. I think Ifune, I think there was bad decisions made. One of them was having the anime, like, produced... Yeah, see, like, I love PS2 era games, but, yeah. The thing is, like... Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, we have friend who liked it, friend who thought it was terrible, and someone who thinks it's mediocre. So, it can be anywheres in that range. I don't like the fact that they, like, push for... They're like, oh yeah, the anime's all, you know, the anime's all funded, and, you know, that's gonna be a thing. It's like, where's the game, though? Think of the game. There's a lot of, like, marketing, like, layers that came before the game itself, which is, like, yeah. I will probably try it before I buy it. The thing is it's like the type of game I would like, so I'm probably going to end up liking Mighty No.9 anyways, but do I think it was a smooth development process? No, it was actually really horrible. I would have been upset if I had donated to it. I would have been like, what the fuck are you doing, Ifune? You can do better than this. You can, like, literally, like, this is, you know, this upsets me. As far as Red Ash goes, Red Ash, that was a bad idea right from the get-go. I like the artwork. Well, I should say it was a bad idea. I like the artwork. I like the idea. It's just, that's literally all there was. Artwork and an idea. There was, like, nothing else done. This was, like, trying to ride the coattails of Mighty No.9, which wasn't finished. And it's like, holy shit, can you just, like, do one thing? This is, like, literally, like, putting the cart before the horse, but, like, the horse is, like, pushing multiple carts in front of it. You are using the horse wrong! Stop it! Oh, God. Shovel Knight was really good. Shovel Knight's been good as a whole. I didn't kickstart it either. I put money into Skullgirls. What else did I put money into? This is why I stopped putting money into the Kickstarters, because I can't keep track of them all. Yokai Watch. Yokai Watch, honestly, I want that game to come out in North America for a very long time. I actually sometime tried the demo for Yokai Watch. Here's the things, actually, well, I guess starting from the start. Yokai Watch came out in Japan. It's been out in Japan for a number of years now. It's been a long-running series. Its popularity in Japan rivals Pokemon at this point, which is impressive. I really want to try it because it's full of Nikomata, and they're adorable. Oh my god, they're adorable. There's so many of them, so many cats. So I'm like, I'm in, you know, I'm already there. But anyway, so I did try the demo when finally, I think it's like the second or third game came out in North America in October. But of course it's like our first game here, so it's like, actually I don't know if that's true. I think it's still the first game from the Japanese release. We're just getting it really late. But anyway, so the first game, it came out here in October. I've been really eager to try it, and really eager to try it. I tried the demo. I felt it's very different from Pokemon. Not that that's a bad thing, but I did feel like it's a very it's kind of simplistic, and I'm a little bit concerned about like in the long run if it would be fun. Like essentially what it is the battle system. You have a wheel and you have I think 6 yokai on the wheel. You can rotate the wheel real time and they attack real time, but whatever is on the front 3 of the wheel are going to be attacking the enemies. If they're on the back end of the wheel, they like heal up, or you can do stuff like that. So essentially front attack, back defensive, which is I think a great idea. It's just that they only have single attacks that they can do, so each yokai only really has one attack. So when you like press on them, when you press on them, you get basically a sort of like 3DS-esque. Well, you get a mini game where you have to like either spin the wheel or to connect the dots, something relatively simple, and that will charge up their attack. So the battle system is real time, which is interesting, but it still feels relatively turn-based because, of course, you can only input one attack at a time because you have to fill up the attack gauge. But my concern is that the yokai individually only have one attack, so you're kind of... your choices are more limited than something like Pokemon, where, there's a lot of thought that goes into what 4 attacks you're putting on a Pokemon. But where Yokai Watch kind of where I think the layer strategy is depending on what yokai you have next to each other, so depending on how the wheels spun, they get different, like they have different passive benefits. So, like, if you have, like, one that heals next to, like, if you have 2 that are charming type, quotation fingers, like, they will both attack much faster than if you just had one that was charming type. There's, like, a layer to it like that. It's very interesting, but from the demo, I was a little bit... It didn't sell me. In fact, it kind of pushed me a little bit away because I couldn't gauge if it would be something I'd get tired of really quickly or not. I'm interested to see how the game goes. I also, I don't think it has versus. It doesn't have online versus. It only has local versus. That's what it was. And I'd kind of like online versus, which apparently the next game does have. So I'm like, I can maybe hold out for the next game. And by then, there'll be enough, like, feedback to know if the battle system will be, maybe for me, if there's more things to consider and look into. One thing I do like is it doesn't appear to have any kind of equivalent to IVs or EVs from Pokemon, which drive me up the wall. I like the idea of hidden depth, but once I learned about IVs and EVs, all I can do is grind them out, and it's like, oh god, this is so time consuming. To me, it has a layer of flexibility, but I would just wish it was something more simplistic and quicker. Like, even if it's just like, oh, I have maybe not 10, like, stat points, but, I have 10 pegs, I can put the 10 pegs between these stats to, like, customize my Pokemon without having to grind for hours doing EVs. It mostly is. It's, like, a very slight difference. Me, Skaz, Panda Colors. We had a few people. We had a few people locally in our circle that were playing Pokemon. Rebutler, who's sometimes in the chat. We had a few different people that were playing Pokemon X and Y sort of competitively. They added a minigame to do EV training in Pokemon. I forget which is which. I think it's EVs are the one you do afterwards. IVs I couldn't be damned to worry about because it's like, oh, fuck it, I don't care. But EVs were ones that I'm like, oh, I have control over this. I generally didn't put a lot of weight behind it, but like there's like, if it's a Pokemon I was really invested in, I'd put down the EVs, but yeah. It was something I could see where it affected things slightly, but it was very minimal usually. But yeah, I got kind of burnt out on it because it was like you'd grind out EVs. Really, it was the only thing you liked about Gen 6? I really liked X and Y, actually. I think it was, to me, like the Pokemon series, the biggest problem the games have is it is the definition of innovation on tap. Yes, I love the outfits. Oh my god, the outfits were so cute. And I love that. I love the fact that they finally made it so you could customize your character, because it's like, you know, when you're playing a game like Pokemon, your character's kind of a supplement for yourself, so it's like you want to customize the character. You want to make them more personal. So like that's something that I've wanted in Pokemon forever. But I really, really also, sorry I'm not playing the game. It's just I'm really into like getting what I want to say out. Yeah, IVs and EVs. The problem was it turned it into such a like high investment. Really, they took away outfits in Omega and Alpha? Oh my god. See, this is the problem. This is the problem I have with Pokemon. It's innovation on tap. Like, they ran the same idea for so long, and then like they just like turn the tap a little bit, and they, you know, have a new idea, and they're like, we can try this. We'll try it. We don't want to, you know, rock the boat and ruin anything that we already have, but we'll try it. And it took so long for them to do something new, something different. And X and Y was the first Pokemon game where I felt like they actually tried a few ideas that were new, and they were good ideas. And I'm like, yes, stick with this. Finally, a Pokemon game that's doing something different. So I was really pleased about X and Y. It didn't I played it for a good span of time, but I definitely had to take a break from it because I was getting a little bit burnt out. The kicker was, when you get into IVs and EVs, you spend so long on one Pokemon, and then when you get into a battle and that Pokemon just goes out in one hit, it's like, it really is discouraging. Oh, am I table pounding? Sorry. I try not to do that because, Sela can definitely vouch for it. I'm a bit of a hand talker, so, like, it would not be uncommon for, well, I'm sitting at the table right now, and I will hit the table talking. Yeah, and see, that's, like, Sela, that's totally where, like, I get Pokemon cards, too, because it's like, oh, this is, like, Pokemon without all the grinding. Like, just get rid of the grinding, and that's wonderful. I don't mind level grinding, because it's not, like, tedious. The problem with EV grinding is you're literally grinding the same friggin' fights constantly. Or in X and Y, you can do the gym. But the problem is you're doing, when you're doing the gym, you're grinding out the same minigame all the time, so it's not really much better. I've heard good things about the most recent Mystery Dungeon game. I'm kind of curious about it, but at the same time, I just haven't, it's not a series I've invested in before, so I'm like, maybe I'll try one sooner or later. Yeah, I didn't like the fact that IVs were so random. It's a little bit ridiculous, because there was definitely, like, when I first started getting into IVs and EVs, I think which was Generation 4. 4 was the one I... yeah, okay, me and Harriet started in Gen 4, breeding... Okay, so, yeah, same time. That was the one that I learned about IVs and EVs, and the first time I tried breeding for IVs, like, literally I bred, like, 400 eggs and didn't get, like, one that was even decent, and it was like, oh my god, I'm never doing this again. So I never dealt with EVs or IVs again. I did do my EVs in X and Y because they gave you the minigame, they gave you a few options, so it was like, okay, I can bear with this a little bit more. Also, you could, like, feed protein and supplements to your Pokemon to really build up their IVs really quickly, and that helped a little bit, but I wish they'd make it a visual capacity and just make it a smaller scale, because I think that would really make it better as a whole. Because if it was just something like, it's like, oh, your Pokemon, you know, has workout points. You know, you can assign 1 to 10 points in any one of these stats, and that will, you know, give a stat bend to that Pokemon. And it would make it more unique. It would fundamentally do the same thing without wasting kids' time. I know, like, maybe people don't think about it, but kids also, their time is valuable. So it's something, you know, they can spend their childhood on other things, and I can spend my adult childhood on other things. Yeah. IVs, EVs. It was tough. Oh, interesting. Huh. Well, Mystery Dungeon, I'll have to think about. Yeah, I mean, like, after so many games, it has to have been, boiled down to a certain point. So I'm sure they know what they're doing. I'll have to think on Mystery Dungeon. I don't know. I haven't really been playing Portable lately, so. But anyway, so yeah, Pokemon. That's the thing. And Yokai Watch. Yokai Watch, I will say, I'm interested in it, but I'm holding off now after playing the demo, mostly, just because, like, it does things that I like, even just from, like, reading into, like, the, like, deeper aspects of the game. Like, I like the fact that there's not really an IV, EV equivalent in it. The Yokai are X strength. I think there's, like, a slight way to bend their stats, but it's not like the same scale. It's not like a mean grind. What I do hear about Yokai Watch, which is sometimes a bit of a chore, is I hear it's actually really hard to get Yokai. Like, you can do, like, a lot of fights before you actually get the option to befriend one. So, that might be a bit of an issue. But I don't know, it's an interesting thing. I think the safe bet for me, I think personally, is maybe just wait for the next game. Just because I like the idea of online play. I want to be able to, play with whoever. Let's go Trigger Fingers. Ow, stepped on that maggot. I see a rare variation. Rare Scorpion. Ooh, double wrench? No, I don't need double wrench. There we go. There we go. But yeah, I don't know what the next. The thing with the Pokemon series too is I get saturated, and then, like, I give it a game or two, because I played Gen 4, get saturated, then I skipped Gen 5. I shouldn't say I skipped Gen 5, I came really late into Gen 5 when I could get the game relatively cheap. I played, like, half of it, but I just wasn't into it. I was still saturated, and then by X and Y, I was ready to play Pokemon again. I should try the digital, the TCG, the digital version. I should try it again. Because that would be a thing. That would be a good way for me to get into cards again without the high investment of cards. I don't know what I want. If I want... We don't have anything to heal yet, so let's go with Second Stomach. That's probably... I usually like having at least one mutation that helps with my health.